Making the documentary about myself was actually the hardest job I've ever done. I don't find myself interesting. I find other species of animal far more interesting than me, and I've had the enormous privilege of talking about them in detail for the last 35 years. That's what I get up in the morning to do, to extol the virtues and express my passion and enthusiasm for the natural world, try and get people on board to help me look after it. I didn't really feel comfortable about talking about myself. I don't normally. However, I am fortunate in that I've been given a small voice because of the public profile that I have, and I normally exercise that voice to try and better the world for wildlife. It's a duty, it's a vocational duty. If I'm not doing that, then I'm neglecting what I'm here to do. And then I wrote a book about having been late diagnosed with Aspergers, and I thought to myself, well, maybe this is an opportunity to improve the world for people who have Aspergers, or people who have people in their family or their friends or their workplace, to give them a better understanding of what the condition is like to live with. Because I not only have that small voice, but I have developed the ability to articulate the way that I feel and the way that I perceive the world, which is slightly different than most people. So again, I found a moral compunction really at the end of the day to say, yes, you have to make this programme. And fortunately, what's been so reassuring is that the response to the programme from the autistic community and those associated with it has been entirely positive. They've said it's been an eye-opener and an insight into some of the ways that people like myself live in the world. And also, and critically from my point of view, was a need to include the positive aspects. Very often autism is seen as a disability, and it can be disabling in its extreme forms. Aspects of it can be disabling to me. We must be candid and frank about that. But also it does have attributes which allow people like myself to exercise skills that other people can't have. And I suppose the real crunch came when I thought about myself as a teenager and in my 20s, when I was locked in my bedroom, terrified to go out, reading and writing depressing poetry and listening to bleak music in a pretty, low, miserable place without a lot of hope. And I hated the idea that now in the 21st century, when we have a far better understanding of autism, when we ought to be looking after autistic people far better than we are, that there are still those young people out there in that condition. And I just wanted to say to them, look, I got through it, and things aren't perfect, but they're not as bad as they were, and in fact they can be quite good at times. And I wanted to give them a little sliver of hope, a route where they might think, yes, I'm really struggling at the moment. It's the most difficult part of my life with this condition, but ultimately that there may be some light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what determined the final decision to make it.